learn that the study in education, that is, if you have these, if you learn certain aspects, that you can look back, and education is the ability for you to fill in the parts. So I should be able to ask you about some subject that you have at least a first-hand knowledge of, because you know this. And you should be able to give me sufficient detail, whereas if I'm a well-educated, intelligent person, I can fill in the gaps for what you don't fill in.
Right.
Because
part of the education skill is knowing when not to do it in the moment.
Right.
You just keep quiet and let the other person talk. That's a social skill.
Yes.
You don't just keep saying, oh, but what you're really saying is, well, I'm going to stop talking to you because you keep interrupting, right?
Yeah.
So those are skills that students pick up on. Mm. So John Corlett came up with 9 guidelines to behavior, to conduct. What some people said was that he created an artificial place where it was safe to be nice to people.
I love that.
Isn't that a wonderful way of putting it?
I love that. That's what I think a school should be. It should be some place where you're free to be who you are.
And this comes from a kid who in 1965 figured out, having come up through Wales, that the way you make it in life is being rough to anybody, because otherwise they're going to be rough to you. And he came into the school and continued that behavior, and some older boys said, we don't do that here. And the reason we're making this a safe place so we don't bully people. And he thought that teasing was just teasing. He gives a wonderful story. The guy's name is Ian. He's in New Zealand, and he basically was at this school for 3 years, and during that time he was rooming with a kid who was very easily scared. And you talk about, well, there's this ghost up here, and they basically terrorized this kid. And so the housemaster took him aside and said, what you're doing, you may think is bullying, funny, right? But it's actually bullying, and if I hear any more of it, you'll be out. There'll just we don't tolerate this stuff. And so Chris Reynolds will always be an icon to Ian Barraclaw, because it took that kind of sitting down and explaining, because that's what he wanted. He didn't want to be told. Ian didn't want to be told what to do. He wanted to be given a choice and the information. I mean,
I understand that.
It's just fascinating. He said that, once he got the idea that this is an artificial situation, it's not real life, but it's a safe place. Mm-hmm. So we can learn to be tough later if we're going to be in those kind of environments.
Or there's an environment, probably a time and a place when you need to be tough. And that's okay, but this is not that place.
Right. And so perhaps the detriment for me was that I continued to take that niceness out and treated everybody the way I was treated while I was at AGLO. And so I've gotten run over a lot.